Shall we start, madam?
Yes, you can.
Yes, yes. Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. Good afternoon. Warm greetings to everyone present here. I, Karthik K. Kamath, on behalf of Department of Business Administration, Canara College, Mangaluru, welcome you all for this webinar on Business Research, a lifeline for better career. A man with great vision and mission, an icon for hard work. He is our resource person, Dr. Niaz Panakaje, Assistant Professor, College of Management and Commerce, Srinivas University, Mangaluru. I welcome you, sir, to this webinar.
Thank you, sir.
Sir has completed MCom from St. Agnes Center for Postgraduate Studies and Research, Mangaluru, and qualified KSET from Mysuru University. Sir got awarded Junior Research Fellowship under Directorate of Minority, Government of Karnataka. Sir has completed his PhD thesis on role of cooperative banking in socio-economic development of rural Muslim communities, a study in DK district of Karnataka to Mangalore University under the guidance of Dr. Abubakar Siddiq, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, University College, Mangaluru. Sir has 5 years of teaching experience and currently has presented a number of research papers on the area of rural banking, gender issues, child labor issues, rural development, socio-economic conditions of unprivileged community in India, women empowerment at national and international conferences. Sir's paper got selected for publication in reputed ISBN and ISSN journals. Sir has also conducted several workshops on research methodology and statistical analysis by using SPSS and AMOS. Welcome once again, sir. I warmly and respectfully welcome our principal, Dr. Premalata V, for this webinar. Welcome you, ma'am. I feel happy to welcome Mrs. Pushpalata, Head Department of Business Administration, who supported me in every aspect for conducting this program. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to welcome all my dear faculty members of Department of Business Administration for this webinar. Welcome you all. I extend my welcome to all the students who are present here for this program. Now, I request Mrs. Pushpalata Madam, Head Department of Business Administration, to address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. It is my pleasure to speak few words on this occasion. The topic of today's webinar is most pertinent in the present competitive era. It's important for students because it helps you to have a detailed analysis of everything. If you have in-depth knowledge of any topic, the outcome will be fruitful and the knowledge also has enhanced. It is true that knowledge economy is most resourceful always. Take for example, before COVID-19, we were not stagnant. The digital system introduced by our nation since past 15 years helped us a lot during COVID-19 pandemic, which hit our nation badly in January 2020. On account of continuous research in the field of medicine, social science, At least today we are confident that soon we may get out of this problem. On the basis of past information and present working system, we have to make research, predict and tackle most of the future problems which otherwise bounce back and ruin us and collapse our present status. Students, therefore, to talk much about this and much about particularly on the concept research, we have amongst us a most eminent personality and knowledgeful person, Dr. Niaz Mohammed. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of our college, and thank you for accepting our invitation to make our students more resourceful. Thank you once again. Students, kindly be online throughout and get the complete information which is disseminated by, which will be disseminated by our today's resource person, and be more resourceful. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank
Sir,
you. Yes.
Yeah, Karthik sir, after you are speaking, just mute yourself. Okay, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, madam, for your wonderful thoughts. Now it is a time to hear from our resource person, Dr. Niaz Panakaje. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pushlata madam and Karthik sir. And so I'll be very happy that today I'll be, I think maybe the first time, so I'll be collaborating with Canara College. And so the title itself says that, so we need to have a business research, and it will be a good career for our future. So is it audible now?
Yes,
Dear
sir.
Okay. And for today's session, and we will be much into a business research, and we know the process how it will be, and most of the participant and the scholars will have some sort of mindset, when we are doing a business, and there is no need of research. But if you just practically, if you see that, so research is everywhere, especially if it is in the organization, or it may be service industry or any industry. So we have some sort of mindset saying that research is only for a teaching career. We are into, when we are into academician, so we will be focused into more on those areas. But so now we need to understand all these importance, and even though, and if you just go through the new education policies, and we can see that there are a lot of changes in the syllabus, and even we are focusing into research even in undergraduate program. So when we are focusing into all these areas, so it will be a challenge for the students, and even for entire stakeholders. So in all these cases, so we need to be careful about all these aspects. We need to have a lot of changes is required. So when you focus into the institution, the job seeker, and when the institution and the government, or when we talk about a company, is requesting from you some of the quality which you can give importance, and which you can give some contribution to these area, so then we need to have something new, and we need to provide some quality to the institution or the company. So in all these cases, so the company or any organized sector is giving they are giving a money for every minute what you are spending in our particular company. So we need to have some sort of creativity, we need to have some sort of skills. So we are the person to identify a lot of problems, a lot of loopholes in our company, and we are the person to show the right track for a future of our company. So in all these cases, how research will help us? So we know that we always say that research methodology, and we don't know, we will not use it, the word called business. Now if you just see the textbook or any of the concept which will be related to the research, and nowadays we will be we can find in the first word itself it is a business. So we are focusing into a business, a research where the company is company is expecting from you to make something special, some special contribution to the the development of particular area or particular department. So these all these cases we will be finding it. So is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so in between, because it's heavy raining here, and in between, if there is any network issues, please let me know. I can, so I can wait for you people, and even from my side also, I'll be getting some sort of network issues. So if any problem, you can just, message in the chat box. Otherwise, you can just inform. So,
Sure, sir. Sure.
okay. Okay, in generally, we will always discuss what you mean by a research. Research is nothing but it's an investigation. We have so many problems, and we have so many discussion, we have so many studies which is already which will already provide some sort of problems. But at the end, what is our new knowledge here? So what we will be doing here? So when there is existing knowledge, the existing knowledge itself it gives some sort of solution. What we can do? So it is nothing but we are focusing, we are contributing something to existing knowledge by identifying some sort of problem in that existing solutions. This is what we are doing it. Research is nothing but it is not only doing some conceptual work and collecting some sort of information. So it is all about we need to do some changes. It has to impact something. It has to contribute to some existing knowledge. So you are working in a company. The company is every day. If you just see the sales, it has been decreasing every day. What do you mean by that? So company may not get profit in the future days. You need to identify the real situation there. You need to identify some of the problems why we are getting why our sales has been declined, all those cases. So you are the person to make some changes. Research is for changes. Research is for some innovation. Research is for some development. So in all these cases you will be investigating and you will be focusing in a very systematic way of approach. So that's why, so we always learn, before learning research aspect, you will learn something about statistics. So statistics will give you some sort of confidence for your, evidence, some sort of confidence for your solutions. In all these cases, research plays a vital role. So just we are just discussing general discussion without any objectives, without anything, without any proper evidence. It is a waste. We need to have some sort of strength in our research. That's why we always, research will be always depends on even some sort of statistics. So we need to have some sort of supportive documents in case of research. And in normally when you just focus into the research, if you just go through the social science research or a business research, or there are number of variety of research, we are into a social science department. We are into humanity department, even into, we are not into scientific related aspect. We are not into mechanic or especially related to medical line. So we are into a social science research. Our research will be purely based on we need to have some sort of outcome. We are expecting some outcome from particular research. This is what we expect. When you have, for example, if you're just talking about anything which is related to general topic, the government is mediating in your in your area, and the government is involving something to the societal changes, which expect something from the some sort of initiative. In all these cases, so research will have some sort of outcome. We need to have some sort of outcome, then only there will be some sort of benefit to the various stakeholder. So if it is maybe a social science research, which may be a business research or anything. So if you are introducing a new product to the market, and what is the expectation? You should get you are expecting like some sort, we need to have increase in your profit. And you wanted to show some new product to the customer, you need to increase your customers. All these cases, this is what you expect. So if you want to introduce a new product to the customer, we have a lot of requirement in all these cases. So we need to have some sort of changes in the in a future days. So even when you just focus into research in general definition, it clearly says that research is, it is an organized and it is a systematic way of finding answer to the questions. It is nothing like, we will be giving some sort of solutions and without anything. So we have some sort of discussion with somebody and we will be giving some sort of, no. Yeah, that's why clearly we should have a clear designs. We should have some sort of framework how we should do a research. It will give you some sort of guidelines to you, and it will give you a clear indication what will be your next future. And that's why we always focus, we always say that research is an organized and a systematic way of finding answer. So in all these cases, systematic as well as organized. When you go for the systematic, it is always, we always remember the word of statistics. Statistics is a solution for most of the problem and with evidence. So that's why we always collaborate with the statistic with normal research. And organized, we have some sort of designs. So we need to have some sort of designs in all those cases. So we will be having different opportunities. So research is nothing but it is an organized and a systematic way of approach, and we will be finding a solution for a particular problem. This is what research says. And when you just focus into the business research, most of the student and participant may be having some sort of idea about this. So what do you mean by business research? So if we are working in a firm to get some sort of profit, and we always think that we need to compete with the, not only in the domestic, we need to compete with the even global market also. In all those cases, so we need to know the everyday situation, what changes has been done, what is the changes in the market. So how we can give an importance for these area, so how we can improve, so how we can increase our sales, how we can better effectively use our human resources, what differences we are finding it. So it is a question for you as a businessman. If you are so working as a so if you want to start your own business, if you want to start your own self-employment, so there are a number of people, you may think that so you are the first person. Some of the cases you may be the first person. There are so many people already doing this business. They already have so many experience. So they have so many things. So in all those cases, it is a challenge for you. It is a challenge for you. And because those people already got some sort of problems, they have some sort of idea, and it is a problem for you and it's a challenge for you. You need to identify the challenge. So that's why we always say that it is a golden words. We always focus into SWOT analysis. We want to see the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats of our company. So now there are so many techniques, we will be using it. So even individual itself, we can do that SWOT analysis for ourselves. So we are seeing our problem, we are seeing our strength, we are seeing our opportunity, we are seeing our threats. So business research will be focused into investigate the problem. So what you will get it. So it may be a specific problem encounter in the work setting that needs a solution. So every day, even HR department will have a problem. Even production department will have problem. We have sales department will have problem. We have advertising department will have problem, and finance department will have. Every department will have its own problems. Who will identify this? Who will give solutions? Is that for every solution the head, who is the manager will give a solution? Each individual. So we know that when we our real field experience, we are the right person to give solutions. So in these cases, business research is a systematic approach. We should have organized efforts. So here what we will do, we will investigate the specific problem. It is encountered in daily life in each department. We need to have a solution based on the real problem. So that's why, so we may find some problem in our company, in our department. I am the boss. I can find some problem in a company. Whether you can find out the real problem. So what we need to do? So I have to do the research. I have to meet the employee. So if I am getting some sort of problems in the HR, the employees are not working efficiently. So that's why our production is decreased. What is that? So you need to meet the employees. You need to meet the HR manager, and you need to see the performance level. So what is their quality? Whether they are enough knowledge with the modern techniques. All this, you are the person to collect this information. You should know that. If I want to see the efficiency of employees, in what way I can measure? You need to have standard measures for this. In all these cases, you are the resource person. So you need to know the knowledge. If when you have enough knowledge, you can easily, you can measure the efficiency. You can have a standard measurement to evaluate the employees or any department. Why my quality is not enough? So what is the drawbacks? Why I'm getting up challenges? So you should have a knowledge with total quality management. You should have a knowledge with human resources. You should have knowledge with organizational behavior. You should have knowledge with the employee performance. You should have knowledge with the sales and so many things. So in this research is nothing but business research. You are the person to identify a specific problem encounter in the work setting that always expects some sort of a solution. This is what business research is. And when you just take an example of a research and manager in our organization constantly engage themselves in studying and analyzing issues, and hence are involved in some form of research activity as they make decisions at the workplace. If you want to take a decision without knowledge, do you think that this decision will give some sort of benefit for us? You don't expect all those things. So you can take a decision. You can take a decision, no problem, because you have power. You are the owner of the company. And if you take a decision, you may lose a lot of things in a future day without any knowledge. That's why we are focusing into research. Research may be done by somebody else with your knowledge. In all those cases, you need to focus this. So is it audible, dear participant?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you. So now if you just take an example of this, research plays an important role even in the analysis of financial statement. So most of the students, those who are studying in management program or maybe commerce program, and most of the interdisciplinary nowadays, they are incorporating some of the financial aspect. Everybody wants to know the financial. Everybody wants money. So we need to have, if I am a doctor, if I am anything, I am working in other department, I have to I should have some sort of knowledge about financial matter, how I can manage it. See, in all those cases, so in case of financial indicator, if you just consider profitability of the firm, and liquidity of the firm, shareholders value, debt equity ratio, leverage ratio, and so many things. We have so many aspects. When you calculate all these things, you should have a research. So why my debt equity ratio has been changed? What is my profitability statement when you compare last 5 years? So you are the person to take decision. So you have some sort of investment in your company, and you can change it. You can diversify. You can change your business styles also, and you can start your branches. You can close your branches. So by considering by analyzing, by taking so many financial indicators, so many things we have. So in all these cases, research is needed. You cannot avoid. We cannot say that research is meant only for teaching faculty or academicians, those who want to do a PhD, those who want to do MPhil, those who want to do postdoc, those who want to write a research paper. No, it is everywhere. Research is for everywhere, and research is for everybody. So if government want to introduce some scheme, so government has to do a research. If panchayat, local government has to do some sort of, if they want to introduce a new scheme to the local people, so even panchayat itself, they have to do some sort of research. So that's why we know that we have in our country, we have the very big information called census. It is very famous information, and it is very big data also. We always wait for that. So we have complete information. So every place, every organization, every institution will need information. So that is called a research. So when you focus into the importance, so when you are planning, a testing of new products, we need to have a research. We need to have a research, and even in case of to understand the customer, the market, and a competitor, we need to have research. And guaranteeing adequate distribution also, we need to have research. And when you want to understand the demand and supply in the market, you need to have a research. And when you just focusing into create a solutions or anything which is related to market aspect, you need to have research. And to build an effective team or a train or a mentor when we need it, we need to have research. So when you want to track the competitor, when you want to avoid future failure, and when you want to understand the brand value, when you want to if you are involving in innovative, and when you are provide some sort of new quality and new taste to the customer, you need to have research. And most of the the researcher may be having some sort of idea. So we may be knowing that SWOT analysis, we may be knowing that pest analysis, we may be knowing that pest analysis. There are so many analysis, especially which is introduced for business research. So we may be knowing that there are so many theories which is already incorporated, especially for management and commerce, which will help you to to take your business in very effective way. In all those cases, research is everywhere. By looking at the importance of business research, we will understand that research is needed for every student. It is not only for those who are interested in the research, those who are planning for higher studies in those who want to go for the teaching. No, it is important for everywhere. In all these cases, we need to understand the importance of research. In normally, when you classify a business research, we always classify into the first classification will be applied research, and one more will be having, we always say that action research or a pure research. When you want to solve the current problem faced by the manager in the work setting, such research is called an applied research. If you just take an example of packages sales increased by 200% from 2001 to 2008, but the sales is decreased by 6% in 2009. What is the reason for this decrease? How you can identify with the right sample? How you can find a solution for this problem? Because in this problem, I may get a few, huge amount of loss for my future days. So now you need to identify the real problems for this situation, and you are the person to give a solution. So here we need to have business research. So this research is called the applied research. In the same way, when you just go for a pure research, and pure research also called as a fundamental research, to generate the body of knowledge about how to solve a problem that could be occurred in the organization. This is called a basic research or a fundamental research, so also known as a pure research. So when you just take an example, how to improve the effectiveness of information system, IT, it is needed. How to integrate the technology into the overall strategic objective of an organization, how to increase the productivity of employees, how to increase the effectiveness of small business. These findings later become useful for application in the business situation. So this all plays a vital role, especially in the business form. We may think that research is meant only for some area, and we don't want. So dear participant, so you by considering the importance, by considering the difference, by considering the objectives and role of every firm, we can say that how business research is very important for our future days. So these all some of the necessity which is very important for our future days. If you just take an example of a marketing department, if you are planning to effective advertisement, if you want to do a sales promotion, if you want to go with a product packaging, if you want to go for product pricing, if you want to go for consumer preferences, if you want to see the consumer preferences, if you want to see the taste of consumers, if you want to go for a changes or innovation in the product, a new product development, you need to have research. I'm just talking about one department. It is just talking about one department, especially about the market department. We need to have research. So in all these cases, a business research plays a vital role. So most of the students, as well as those who are planning to start their own business, especially self-employment or small scale, SME or anything. So we have some sort of mindset that we don't want to focus on those areas. So we are, if you just see the career opportunity as a researcher, if you are really interested in the research, you can become an academic career. You can become an academician. You can become a teacher. You can become a consultant. So many things. And if you want to become, other than academia, you are in so many other scope. And if you want to start your own business, you will get so many other options. So you can work for yourself. So you can start your own self-employment. You can start your own business. You can also tie up with so many people. So these are the opportunity you will get as a researcher. And in all these cases, you just take an example of academic career. So many doctoral or postdoctoral researchers would say that academic lecturing career is where they see their future line. So most of them, we have a mindset of that. So every way, every situation, if I have completed my research on some topic which is related to socio-economic conditions of rural Muslim communities. What is my outcome from this? I can distribute my finding to the government. So these are all the parameters, these problems they are facing it. In the same way, if you are finding some sort of problems in small and medium-sized enterprises, you are finding some sort of problem, you are the person to give some sort of solution to the owner of SME or the respective stakeholder which their company are holding it. So this is what we need to have some sort of outcome. So as an academic career, also the focus into the research, which is mainly focused into the company or which may be related to the government, the general public, the issues related to the various people, various stakeholders. So when you just focus into outside the academia, what we say, especially in the if the students wants to, or some scholar wants to join in a company, you can be an expert. Every company will have their own separate department called research and development. Why they wanted a research and development department? So even you can go with the industry, you can work in charity, especially in the NGOs, you can work in central and state, local government, you can also work in cultural organization, you can also join in the research institution, research council, social research organization, market research organizations. There are so many scope if you are become a researcher. So it is not only the scope which will be available for the teaching academician. So we have so many scopes. These are the few opportunity what we are finding, especially outside the academia. So what we will call the business opportunity. You want to become work as a profession. You want to become you want to work as a consultant. If you want to work in one sector, one department as a head. So these are the opportunities we will get it in the outside the academia. So when you are focusing into if you want to start your own enterprise, if you want to start your own self-employment, so you can you will be finding you are the person to take decision. If you are a owner of the enterprise, if you are running your own self-employment business, you are the person to take decision. So in all these cases, if you are finding if you are running a petty cash, if you are some petty shop, so we need to know about how to spend our money. We need to know about how to how I reach my customer. All these cases, so if it is related to the amount, how much you need to spend, which is related to the petty cash, which may be related to your business, how I can reach. So you are the person to take a decision. You need to have a knowledge with everything. So in all these cases, we have opportunity in all the cases. It may be you are become an academician, you are become a non-academician, and you want to start your own enterprise, or you want to start your own self-employment. Research will be plays a vital role. So if you just to go through the social science research, we have some differences in the social science research. So when you focus into social science research, and there are a lot of difference between a business research as well as social science research. So even when you just focus into social science research, to study of the society and the relationship among the individual within the society, it includes, which may be related to business, a part of business research, sociology, commerce, demography, and so many other things. In all those cases, it provides authentic information to the people that are scientifically proven, so that end user can rely upon it. So finally I can accept it. So it is the right solution what I'm giving. So this is what we expect, especially in the social science research. And even social science research will find the root cause and for any problem. And we always say that if you are getting some sort of solution, especially through a social science research, it will always have an effective solution. So when you are getting effective solution, there should be a proper research design. There should be a proper research design. Then only we can expect effective solutions. So even when you just go for objectives of social science research, we always focus it will facilitate the understanding. It always focus to acquire the knowledge about social phenomena, and it will always show the relationship between various variables, and it will always show the application of various theory. We are studying so many theories. We know that if you just take Maslow's theory, if you just take it to any leadership theory, there are so many theories. So but theories explain how we can apply it. You need to take some companies, you need to apply it. This is what we are expecting. So when you are planning, you will be having some sort of theories and you will be practically applying it. And you are saying that which is the better leadership theory, I can use it for my organization. So in all these cases, we need to have So even when you just consider the objectives of social science research, and it also go with the various will be solving of various problems which is related to social related aspect, and even to maintain the social organization, remove social tension, misconception, etc. Social science research plays a vital role. So this is the difference what we are finding. When you want to focus, the research, when you want to focus a research, and we need to understand so many concepts. This is till now what I have explained just about the meaning of research, business research, how it is important, what are the various career in the business research, what is the major difference between a business research as well as social science research, and how it works. All these areas we have just discussed. But if you want to focus into a research, you need to understand so many things. So most of the institution, if you just see the new education policy, so every institution is giving an importance for student research project. Most of the university they already introduced, basic research aspect, especially in undergraduate program, starting from the first year itself. So at the end of third year, and they will be completing. So now they are planning to increase the years even for fourth year also. So he will come up with a new idea of research. So now otherwise it is only after your PG program. So now if you just focus on new education policies, we are introducing, it is already introduced in undergraduate program. We are the lucky people, and because these type of interaction of all these research, it has started long back in other European countries. Now recently, at least, we are the lucky. So when we are studied our undergraduate program, we didn't study that. So we don't know what do you mean the research, how research will work. Now everywhere, the research is everywhere. So it already started. So when you want to focus into research, so we need to understand which type of studies we are focusing. So whether we have enough literature, whether we have enough information, which concept we will be covering it, whether we have proper research design, whether sampling design, which type of variable we will be taking. So which type of measurement you will be doing, whether which type of questionnaires you will be taking, and which is the right questions. If I am taking a theory, whether there is any practical implication. So whether I can apply this theory to my studies, whether I can take this theory as a conceptual theory and I can frame a conceptual model for my study. So you need to understand the hypothesis, you need to understand the model, and you need to have some sort of a research tool. And when you are constructing, when you are planning for a research, and you need to have some sort of validation in your research. It is nothing but just collecting some sort of information. With your understanding, you will be preparing questionnaire and you will be analyzing it. No, you cannot do that. So every researcher has to meet so many people. You need to consult so many people. You need to meet faculty. So initially, what you will do, you will have a peer group, collaboration. Then you will be meeting a faculty. Then you can meet an expert person. So in these cases, you should have validation, because after doing a research, so nobody is ready to accept your solution. It's a waste. So that's why validation by the expert people. When you are getting some sort of consultation, your research will be valid, and you can generalize your research to entire community and entire stakeholder. This is the benefit of research. So you need to understand the statistical analysis concept. So dear participants, dear students, if you have any clarification and any questions in between, you can just put it in the chat box, and we can also have a discussion what we presented till now. So we can also have a discussion. Any other clarifications? Karthik sir, is it audible?
Yes, sir. It is audible. So, till now, no questions, sir.
Okay. So then anyway, I will continue.
Yes.
Okay. So now, when you want to focus into research, if you are focusing into business research, or if you are focusing into social science research, we need to have some of the quality. There are 100 qualities also. I don't want to mention all these qualities. If you just go through the Richard Walker course, it is a tough job. Research is not easy. When you are doing it very systematically, if you are not when you are not following any system, and research will be very easy. But when you are planning, when you are research design, everything has been explained, you know everything about the research design, then no problem. So initially understanding all these concepts, understanding the research design, understanding the problem, collecting the valid literature will give you some sort of difficulty to you. That's why we are saying that it is a tough job. The hours can be long, but the deadlines will be, the always short. So we don't have enough time to, you cannot take 1 year to time to complete your research. So if you just take other country people, they will complete within a 1 month. They have, access of all the data. They can, see the literature within 1 day. We will not get all these access. So we need to improve. We need to have good digital knowledge. We need to have some sort of analytical knowledge. We need to have some sort of practical knowledge. And you have to become a good. You should have an analytical mind. You should become a good reader. Then only see why we don't have enough knowledge. Why we cannot write a research paper? Because we are not right. We are not doing anything. We are not ready to read. So we don't want to listen anybody. When you are listening anybody, and you are the person, and you are the resourceful person. But when you are not ready to read, when you are not ready to listen from the expert person, how you can improve your knowledge? How you can contribute to the existing knowledge? So these are all the questions you will be having. So it requires intelligence. It requires curiosity. You should have interest. It is not like a forcefully somebody is forcing you to do some research. You should be a quick thinker. All these quick thinker, everything you will get based on the knowledge. How? So it should be based on the reading. It should be based on the listening of so many expert people. And you should have commitment. And you should have excellent written and verbal communication skills. Initially, nobody will have this. Nobody. So general writing is different and academic writing is different. You should refer. You should read so many articles. You should meet so many people. Then only you will improve your writing skill as well as communication skill. You should be very systematic. So that's why we always repeat the word check, check, and check it again. Why? Because when you are not ready to cross-check with your data, and so you will be finding a lot of problems, a lot of mistakes in your studies. So that's why always we will consult so many people. Better you give it to your friends. So he will find out some of the fault in your research. And you need to build a good social network. You need to meet so many people. You need to contact with so many people. And you have to create a good connection between your friends and your those who are working in a company. You can keep in good contact with the seniors. Those who are working in a company, you can easily access some of the data, and you should have a collaboration. It is not easy initially doing a research and myself and without knowledge. So what I can do, I can meet some of the person, I can collaborate with him, and you will be giving some sort of knowledge to the real research, and he'll be giving some sort of knowledge, and there will be some discussion. That's why we always expect some sort of collaboration in the research. Then only you will become a good researcher. And just to go through the process. So if you just go through the process, there are different way of presenting a research process. Okay, so I think this is standard enough, and most of the researchers will accept this process. So there are different way of presenting a research process, and it will be from up to 5, and it has been increased to till 20 also. No, but if you just go through this process, so initially we will be identifying the problem. So if you want to start a research, you need to identify the problem. Then only we can do a research. What is our intention? Our intention is we need to give some sort of solution. This is what. So it may be social science research, or it may be business research, or it may be anything. So we have a problem with the COVID pandemic. We need to find out the solution for this. So now we are finding the problem and we are giving the solutions. So this is research will start with always with the problem. How we can find a solution? How we can find the solution? How we can find the a solution? We have big questions for us. Initially, we will be starting with a problem, then we need to give a solution. But when you identify the problem, we have a different process. We have different procedures. So in all these cases, we need to have, we need to go with a different aspect. So if I want to give a brief idea about the problems, and if I want to give a brief idea about the research design, and if I want to give a brief idea about sampling, data gathering, and processing, and conclusion, and again, you will be having discovery. So in the next slide, we will be discussing it. And at the end, once you identify the problem, at the end, you will be giving a solution. This is what we will do. Again, it never ends. It never ends. The research will be in a process. That's why we say that it's like in a cycle. Okay, so it will start with the problem. Again, there will be a problem. So you may give some sort of solution. Other researcher will come. The new researcher will come. He will identify some sort of problem. Every research will say that it will give some sort of direction for the future research. We may be focused only in the private sector. So we can also focus for the government sector also. We are focused only few sample and we are focused only few variables and we are not getting enough solution for our problems. So in all these cases, so there will be a discovery. Again, there will be a problem in our research. This is what we are finding it, dear participant. So participant, it is never ends. Research will never ends. It will start with a problem. Again, in our study, we always say that it's a conclusion. It's a conclusion, it's the ending, but never. You cannot say that it's a conclusion. There will be a recommendation for future research. There will be some limitation for your future research. This is what we are finding it, present research. So you may find some sort of solution in your research, but it may not be a solution for all the home. So this is what we can find it in the business research or in social science research. So when you want to identify the problem, how you can identify? You have to start reading. You have to read so many magazines. You have to read so many newspapers. You need to read so many literature. You need to read so many research papers. You need to read so many PhD thesis. You need to read BBA project or MBA project, BCom project or student project, MPhil project. So many projects we have. You need to find out. You need to read a government report. You need to read census, where we are finding the problems. So it may be based on the reading. It may be based on the experience. So you are started your own self-employment. You are getting so many problems. So that is real research problem. And if you are really interested by observing, and if you wanted to see, so the person has taken this variable as he has connected to some variable. But my opinion, my knowledge says that what he has made a relationship, it is wrong. That is based on your interest. It may be based on the experience. It may be based on the reading. It may be based on the interest. So when you have academic experience, when you have a daily experience, you are the person to identify the real problem. When you have a field knowledge, when you are ready to consult people who have a good knowledge, when you are ready to research yourself, and when the person is ready to give some sort of tuitions and you are ready to listen, and you can easily identify the real problems. So real problem will come only through experience, only through a reading, and only through interest. It is not like, so somebody will give you some problem. No, you are the person to identify the problem. It is only through experience, it is only through reading, and it is only through interest, dear participants. So in all those cases, you are the person to take a decision. So this is how we will identify the problem. When you identify the problem, so we are the person to decide so many things. So we need to identify so many literature. Based on that, you will be identifying the problem. Then you will be finding the research questions. You will be finding the research objective, and you will be framing your entire research design. So that's why we always say the most of the researchers are failed to have a knowledge with the research design. So the research design is nothing but methodology. So there are thousands of books which book is available especially for the research design. The methodology, how we can go further, how we can continue our research. So these all we can see it in the research design. So it is nothing but it's a master plan. It is a framework, and it specifies the methods and the procedure, how you can go further. When you want to decide about so many things, and when you want to have some sort of solution for your studies, and you need to think so many things. You need to decide so many aspects in your research. In all those cases, research design plays a vital role. Most of the students, most of the researchers, most of the academicians, still they're facing a problem in the research design without knowledge. Okay, so now when you just to focus into a research design, we need to ask so many questions with ourselves, which is related to the research question. What research question I can frame by based on the literature? What is my research gap from my problem? What is my objective of the study? What type of questions need to be answered? If I want to fulfill the objective, what is your sampling procedure? Whether my study is focused into descriptive or casual finding, and whether which type of data I can collect it, and how should survey question be worded, and quickly the information is needed, and type of statistical tool I can use it for my study, and how I can present my final outcome. These are all the questions you should ask yourself. So if you're asking question, what is your research question? You are finding 5 to 10 research questions based on the literature. And what is the research gap? There are so many studies has been done, and you will be finding the gap between his study and your study. And you, based on that, you will be framing objectives. Based on the objective, you will be preparing a questionnaire. And type of questionnaire you will be prepared. Which type of questionnaire you will be prepared? Who is your sample? Who is your population? Who is my right sample? So which sampling techniques I can use it to collect? If I want to give evidence, if I want to generalize my study, which is the better techniques I can use it? And if which is the other data I can collect it? And what way I can survey? Whether I can distribute directly, I can meet the people. Whether I can collect it from the, I can distribute through Google form. Whether I can just collect through observation. So how quickly the information is needed. So which type of statistical tools I can use it. Whether I can go for just percentage analysis. Whether I can just go for descriptive analysis. Whether I can go for just inferential analysis by taking univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, multivariate analysis. Whether it is enough. Whether I can go for some other test. So all these things. So when you have secondary data, where there are different methods which we can help us to analyze the data set. These are all the things you should keep it in your mind when you are planning for your research design. And when you just take an example of sample and population, most of the research will have confusion that what do you mean by sample and population. So it is not possible to select entire Karnataka population. So what we will do, we will always select a number of selected people, that is called a sample. It is the sample is nothing but a representation of a few percentage of population. So this sample is nothing but the character of this sample is equal to population. So that's why we always say take sample based on a statistical rule. So when you just focus into a sample is nothing but a subset of large population. A part of population is always denoted by a small letter n. So if you just see the graphical representation, you can easily understand. This sample is representing entire population. The characteristics of this sample will be equal to the population. That's why we can generalize our study. And when you just go for selecting a sample, we need to ask so many questions. Is the sample is necessary? Who is the sample? Who is to be a sample? Who is my right sample? And then when you just select this right sample and what larger. So based on whether I know the population, whether the population is infinite or not, whether it is infinite or whether it is finite. If I know the exact population, how I can calculate? What is the formula? And how you'll be sample you need to be selected. And who or what is the source of the data? All these things you should decide. And when you just go for sampling techniques, there are different sampling techniques. We may knowing that the sampling techniques can be classified into probability and non-probability. What do you mean by probability? Probability sampling will give you equal chance to every population. But when you just focus into non-probability, we are not giving an equal chance. We are taking based on our convenience, and based on our purpose. Based on my convenience, if I am taking sample, how other people will get a chance. But that's why most of the researchers will prefer for probability sampling. Why? Because the probability sampling will give equal chance to every population. So if you just take simple random sampling, if you just take systematic sampling, if you just take cluster sampling, if you just take stratified sampling, all these sampling techniques will give you equal chance to every single population. But in case of non-probability, we are not getting. But there are some exceptional cases. If you want to study the health-related aspect of COVID patient, my purpose is to study only COVID patient. This is my purposive sampling techniques. I can use it for. In social science research, only some of the cases we can use it. But science, it is a different cases. So this is a major differences what we are finding. When you just go through the sampling techniques, these are the major sampling techniques which is available. If you just go through that, we have random, cluster, stratified, and systematic sampling under probability. When you just go for non-probability, we have convenience, we have judgmental, we have snowball, and we have quota sampling. When you just for judgmental, my judgment, what is your knowledge? How you can judge that? So sometimes it is accepted, sometimes it cannot be. You have only limited knowledge. How you can judge that this is the right sample. So that's why non-probability sampling will always have more limitations. So we always prefer probability sampling. Why? Because probability sampling, if you are using probability sampling, you can use a better statistical tool, and you can justify your study. This is the benefit of a probability sampling, dear students. When you just go for, your snowball sampling, it is nothing but based on, some person will be, saying that, so if you want to collect information from my side, if you want to collect information from Dr. Niaz, and you will be meeting some of the person from the Srinivas University, and some of the faculty from the university is referring that you can go and meet some of the person from the my native place. So it is nothing but some sort of, based on my convenience and based on my judgment, so people will be collecting information. So you are getting so many bias, you will be getting so many errors, so many mistakes while you use non-probability sampling techniques. And when you just focus into types of data collection, most of the researcher may be knowing, most of the students may be knowing that. So we always say that primary and secondary data. What do you mean by primary data? Primary data, nothing but it is the first information. So it may be collected through questionnaire, it may be collected through observation, it may be collected through the interview, it may be collected through phone call, mail, or anything else. And when you just focus into secondary data, the data which is already available, which is there are so many literature which is already available. If you are taking 5 years profit which is already available, so this is nothing but a secondary data. It is not a first information. The information is already collected by somebody else. So this is nothing but a secondary data. If you just go through this, so we can divide into observation data as well as questionnaire data. In the same way, when you just consider a secondary data, we can also consider internal data as well as external data. If you just collect the data which is related to census and the external one, if you just consider if you are working in a company, so if you can easily classify internal and external. Internal may be financial statement, the report, the customer complaints, and sales call report. But when you just focus into external report, the information may be from the government or different stakeholder or maybe RBI, so many things. This is nothing but external data, especially which is available in the secondary data. When you just focus into a primary data, we have different options. We can collect information through questionnaire, structured questionnaire, and we can have observation. We can have a direct mail. We can collect through a mail. And all these observation, we are not meeting anybody. We are just observing the people, and we are not talking anything. We don't want to distribute any questions here. This is nothing but a primary data collections. There are different ways to collect the data set, dear participants. And most of the researchers have some sort of a limited knowledge on this pilot study. So because we don't know what you mean by pilot study. Pilot study is nothing but a pre-studies. So you cannot decide the income category of the respondents. You need to see that. If you are focusing your study only the rural area, how we can decide about the income group? How you can? Only based on the pilot study. If you want to decide about the highest and lowest educational qualification, you need to do the pilot study. You want to decide the marks level of the students, you need to do the pilot study. When you want to do a pilot study, you will be getting so many answers for your questions, which may be related to the validity, which may be related to the reliability, and which may be related to your number of options what you will be putting in your questionnaire. Everything you are the person to decide. That's why every research will have a pre-study, also called as a pilot study. Then only once you've done the pilot study, then only you are the person to take a decision, and you are the person to take a solution. You are the person to take a solution, and you are the person to take a final study for your research. And just if you want to go for questionnaire, so you need to ask so many questions with you when you want to prepare a questionnaire. What should be asked? So you should see the objective, you should see the title. There should be a flow between your title, objective, and your result. So result will be purely from the questionnaire, right? So you should see that what should be asked, how should each question should be framed, phrased, and in what sequence should the questions should be arranged, which question will be fulfill the research objective, how should be the questionnaire pre-tested, does the questionnaire should be revised, does the selected questionnaire fulfill the hypothesis, and is the right option to measure questionnaire relevancy, there is any questionnaire relevancy or not. So in all those cases, the researcher, we should see that we have so many questions with ourselves, especially in case of while preparing a questionnaire. So dear participant, see, this is just nothing but while you are preparing questionnaire, we have so many questions, which type of questionnaires we can prepare. So most of the researcher may be knowing this. So like when you just prepare a questionnaire, we have different types of questionnaire. While you are preparing questionnaire itself, you should have two important aspects. One is type of questionnaire and one more is the type of measurement. When you focus into type of questionnaire, there are different types. One is open-ended with the numerical response, open-ended with the text response, closed-ended with the numeric response, closed-ended with the text response, and closed-ended with the Likert scale. At the last one, we have multiple response questions. When you are focusing into open-ended with the numeric response, nothing but you are asking what is your income. When you are asking open-ended with the text responses, you are asking what is your opinion, what is your suggestion. When you are asking closed-ended with the numeric response, you will be categorizing income and you have 4 groups and then you will be giving that and the response as to tick. And close-ended with the text response and you will be having 4 departments and you have to the response as to tick which department he is working, which department he is studying. And when he is focusing into close-ended with the Likert scale, is nothing but we have 5 scale, we have 3 scale, 7 scale, 9 scale, different scales. So maybe it will have a magnitude difference. And in the same way, these are the type of questionnaire you can incorporate in your research. When you focus into when you focus into your measurement, this is very important. While you are preparing questionnaire, you should remember that I can measure my questionnaire in the form of nominal, I can measure in my questionnaire in the form of ordinal, I can measure in the form of scale. Because when you are testing up the hypothesis, the measurement plays a very, very important role. Most of the researchers are failed to understand this concept, dear participants, because we don't know what do you mean by nominal, what do you mean by ordinal, what do you mean by scale. When you are giving numbers just for identification purpose, male and female, then this is nothing but nominal measurement. When you want to classify the department, this is nothing but nominal measurement. When you're focusing into ordinal, when there is a magnitude difference between the variable, one item to another item, if we just take a 5 scale question, we can consider as an ordinal measurement. What do you mean by scale measurement? It is nothing but interval and a ratio. When there is a importance for 0 value, and when there is no importance for 0 value, we will go for scale measurement, especially interval as well as ratio. But your entire measurement can be classified into 2 ways when you are doing analysis. That is nothing but categorical as well as a metric. What do you mean by categorical? When you want to identify, when you want to distribute your questionnaire with just for identification purpose, if you want to see the department wise, if you want to see the gender wise, if you want to see the age wise, this is categorical. And if you want to go with the region wise, it is a categorical. If you want to see the preference, performance, or some sort of ratings, some sort of real marks, some sort of real income, you can consider under metric. So your entire measurement can be classified categorical or metric. If you just see the social science research or business research, the measurement can be classified into 3 important categories, that is nominal, ordinal, and scale. The scale measurement can be again classified into interval as well as a ratio measurement. So most of the researchers may be knowing that there are 2 important variables, that is dependent and independent variable. Dear participant, when you are depending on your parents, especially for the payment of fees, you are a dependent. Your father is the independent variable. When your father is depending on related to mobile banking, and you are the independent and your father is a dependent. Why? Because your father may not knowing the much about the mobile banking. So in these cases, situation may change. So in the first cases, you are depending on your father. In the second cases, your father is depending on you because you have much knowledge about the banking or mobile banking. So you need to understand what you mean by dependent variable. What do you mean by independent variable? Who will be depending on which variable will depend on other variable. So when you just focus into job satisfaction always depends on the work environment and salary part and number of hours and the employees collaborations. How company will give importance for each employee. So here we need to decide about which is the dependent and which is the independent. Job satisfaction always dependent variable. The other factor what you will provide, that is the independent variable. So these are all the things you need to understand while you are doing research. So you need to have knowledge about hypothesis. You need to have some sort of guess. You need to have some sort of assumption. So you want to see the difference between male and female. So you are saying that male always get more marks, female always get more marks. So female failure rate will be high. How? Based on some sort of knowledge. So you will be differentiating between the variable. You are saying that there is some sort of differences. So you will be framing the hypothesis. So hypothesis can be tested. So we always said that hypothesis will be classified into 2. One is null and alternative hypothesis. When you are focusing into null hypothesis, we are just saying that there is no significance between two variables. So if you want to see the null hypothesis, the marks between male and female, marks between girls and boys are equal. That is alternative hypothesis. Sorry, so when you are talking about marks between male and female, male and female are there is a difference. When there is difference between marks of the student in case of male and female, we are saying that it is an alternative hypothesis. There is a significant difference between the marks. When there is no significance, we always say that it is equal. So it is called a null hypothesis. Null hypothesis means we are saying that there is no significance, there is no difference, there is no association, there is no direct effect, there is no indirect effect, there is no moderating effect, and there is no mean difference. So these are all called null hypothesis. When you are finding there is a significance difference, there is an association, there is a direct effect, there is an indirect effect, there is a mediating effect, and there is a moderating effect. All these effects can be, if you are saying that there is, so that is called alternative hypothesis. You should understand, when you know how to prepare a questionnaire, when you know how to identify the variable, when you can easily frame the hypothesis. And when you are focusing into data analysis, at the end you have to analyze your data. So some of the researchers will analyze the data with a different way, and manually also you can do. And you can also use some of the software. You can also use Excel, you can also use SPSS, you can also use Amos, you can also use R program, you can also use Jamovi, JASP, there are Python, there are many software which is available to analyze the data set. Initially what we will do, you will be editing the data and you will be coding that, you will be entering in the software, otherwise you will be manually, you will be doing it. Then you will be deciding which type of analysis I can do it. So most of the researchers may be knowing that. So initially what we will do, we will calculate a percentage analysis, how many female, how many male. This is nothing but percentage analysis, also called as a frequency analysis. When you are mentioning in the form of descriptive analysis, it may be central tendency as well as dispersion. Most of the students may be studied this. So maybe mean, median, mode, central, skewness, kurtosis, and standard deviation. So all these comes under descriptive analysis. When you want to present your data set with the mean value, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, skewness, kurtosis, so you can go with the descriptive. When you want to go for inferential analysis, by taking only one variable, you can go with univariate analysis. When you are taking two variables, if you want to see the association between height as well as weight, so you can go with the bivariate analysis. When you want to see the, considering so many independent variable and one dependent variable, you can go with multivariate analysis. Along with that, if you want to consider so many dependent variable along with so many independent variable, where we have some other multivariate analysis. It based on what is your hypothesis, how your data has been distributed. It is based on how, what way you are framed your hypothesis, what is your objective. So all these cases you can decide about your various type of testing of analysis. And now this is what I wanted to give you a brief idea about how a research process can be done. At the end, once you complete your the analysis, what you will do, you will give some sort of conclusion, and along with that you will be having, before that you will be giving findings and suggestion. It should be purely based on your data, the data distribution, how the data represents. So you need to go with that. And so this is the process, dear participant. The research will start from always with the problems. Then we will be having a research design. So in the research design, we will be discussing with so many things which may be related to your objectives, which may be related to your sample, and which may be related to sampling technique, and which may be related to variable, which may be related to hypothesis testing, and which may be related to various questionnaire forms, and which may be related to a statistical tool, what you will be using it. Then you will be having some separate concept of conceptual framework. Then you will be having a data collections. Then you will be using various statistical tool, and you will be analyzing it. Then you will be writing a findings. Then you will be having suggestion. At the end, you will be having conclusion. And again, there will be questions for you, a discovery. That's why you will be writing a limitation as well as a direction for future research. And now most of the students may be knowing that how to prepare a good research paper in the social science or a business research. So initially, when you focus into this area, so we have so many questions. we have so many questions. So which is the better way, and what are the guidelines I can follow it. Just go through that. So these are the general way of presenting your research paper. You can start with the title, abstract, introduction, literature review or review of literature, methods or methodology, result, discussion or a conclusion, and then you can also add limitation and direction for future research. And we need to have one more called a reference. Along with that, you can also incorporate appendix. That is also called as questionnaire, along with some of the graphs which we don't want to mention in your result. So if you just go through the title, we need to understand while you are preparing a title specifically that the title should be specific and indicate the problem of the research project, the address using keywords that will be helpful in the literature review in the future. So you should be a clear and explanatory title, brief and concise, and you should have a clear indication. It is not just giving some title, a study on NGO, no. So what is the object? You should have both outcome. You should have some sort of outcome. You should better. I always suggest that when you're preparing, when you're writing a title, you should remember that independent and dependent variable. You should always remember that which is the independent and which is the dependent variable. And if I just want to give an example of one of the title, mediating effect of leaders, mediating effect of in relationship between agility and TQM practice. There is a relation between agility and TQM practice, but your mediating your organization leadership also works as a mediating. So we should have independent variable, dependent variable, also a mediating variable if it is possible. So all these things you should remember. And when you are writing abstract, you should see that what is my objective and what is the literature, and you should also have some sort of methodology. You should also have some sort of hypothesis, and you should also mention some of the statistic tool what you are used, and you also mention about some sort of findings in your study, and also you should have some sort of recommendation. It is nothing but it's an executive summary. Abstract is nothing but executive summary. One person is reading an abstract, he should understand entire your research. So maybe the words may be 100 to 300, 100 to 500 words, not more than that. Entire your research paper may be 200, maybe 20 pages, but your abstract should be 100 to 300 words. It should mention about these all the aspects what I have mentioned. So, and you also mention about the keywords. Keywords are words that are capture the essence of your paper. Keywords make your paper searchable and ensure that you get more citation, because when you want to, the other person want to search about his topic, his area of interest, and so by considering some of the variables, he will write it in the Google Scholar or he will search it in the Google. And in the same way, if your title is formed in these, considering these variable, so he can also cite your work, he can also refer your work for the future studies. And when you focus into the interaction, you should understand the, it should be in the macro level to micro level. We may be knowing that. What do you mean by macro? Macro level means we are starting from the global context and we are ending with the domestic, a particular region. So you should have a global perspective to domestic level, and it should be in the macro level to a micro level. You should have importance of the study, you should have the rationality of the study, and you should have some sort of, we need to briefly describe the experimental design, how they accomplished by stated in the objective of the study. Everything you should mention in the objective. And again, when you just focus into your literature review, so you should have, there are so many other options to collect the literature review. It will support you some sort of support for your study. And better you should specifically you should focus which are the important variable I can focus and which are the important area of study I can consider. There are so many literature which is available, but you should see that and which is the important literature for my study. So all those things. And methods is nothing but research design. What I have discussed in my research process, you should remember everything and you should write it. And when you focus into a result, so especially about the data analysis, you can present it in the different way. So maybe it up to you, you can use percentage analysis, descriptive analysis, inferential analysis, or multivariate analysis also. And then you should have, finally, you should have discussion and conclusion along with the supportive documents, which is already mentioned in the result or data analysis. You should have discussed here, and you should have give some sort of conclusion. Along with that, you should also give a recommendation. The recommendation means recommendation for the stakeholder, recommendation for the future researcher, and recommendation for so many other people. So this is what you should do it at the end of your research, and along with that, you should mention your references. So when you're mentioning the references, so it may be in the books, in the form of books, it may be in the form of a research report, or it may be in the form of a research paper, or anything. There is some format, you should follow that, or APA or MLSI. So this is all about my presentation, dear participant, and this is just about, how to prepare a research paper. So I have given the brief idea about the research process. So within 1 hour, it is not easy to complete, giving some brief idea about business research, and giving some idea about the process of research, and giving some idea about the research paper. It needs its own time. But anyway, so if you have any clarification which is related to, the concept, what I have discussed, and if you have any questions which is related to a research process or research anything, so now it's a time to you. You can just ask questions, and some students or some participant, if you're not, if it is not possible to you to ask questions, you can just give it in the chat box. I am ready to answer it. So, sir, is it audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is the time to put your question in the chat box. Now let us take all the questions. Please do put your question in the chat box. Yes, students. And already feedback form is sent in the chat box. Every student is required to fill the feedback form immediately. After 15 or 20 minutes, it will be deactivated. Any questions, you can comment in the chat box.
Mr. Dhanush? Dhanush is there? Dhanush. Students, if you have any questions, you can.
So anybody, I can find it some of the friends. So any research scholars, and even my own friend, the assistant professor, Mr. Yatin Anchan. So he's also, I can see. So any clarification, you can just ask.
Sir, one question.
Yes, madam.
Yes. Sir, in the college, in the education field, students have enough opportunities to do the project work if they go for that, or if they choose. But in the society, if anybody finds a solution to any social problem, how they can approach, and how can they go ahead?
So, madam, you're talking about the student project. So, like
student projects, they have one platform, sir. They yes. can do the research work, and they can submit it to the college. A copy can be sent to the university, right? So, I'm not saying about project work in the college, but others in the society, if anybody, other than students, if anybody wants to find found a solution to any of the problem, how he can approach, whom he can approach, how he can go ahead in the research work?
See, ma'am, most of the time, when you just focus into social science research, and it is research for everybody. So some of the, see, that's why we have a good platform. You can publish article in any way. So people may think that it is not useful. So when you, the person, real field experience person, you will be preparing a research paper, and you will be having some sort of idea. And what you can do, you can get some sort of benefit from the government. So now, even if I just give an example, especially in our minority department, one of the Professor Abdul Aziz, he was working in one of the department. And what he has done through his, some of the family member, he has collected some of the data which is real problems faced by the one of the community. So everything is done by the person who has not an academician thing, but these problem has considered especially from the government department, and the government has introduced special schemes for this. There are a lot of opportunity, even not only from the students, anybody. That's why nowadays, even from my side also, I always I used to say to my students, so don't worry about only taking project which is related to the company project. You can take anything which is related to social problems, which will help us to society. So even you can approach to the local government, you can approach to the respective department, but you should have some sort of benefit to the society. It is nothing but doing some research without any benefit. So this is what I expect. So I hope I answered for your question.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Any other questions?
Sir, if there are no questions, you can go ahead, sir.
Yes, Pushpala,
Yes.
Madam. Okay. Okay, madam.
Yeah.
Shall we conclude now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver vote of thanks for this webinar on business research, a lifeline for better career. I would like to express my gratitude to the resource person of today's webinar, Dr. Niyaz Panakaje, Assistant Professor, College of Management and Commerce, Srinivas University, for being with us despite of his busy schedule and accepting our invitation open-heartedly. Thank you, sir. Sir has inspired and he has given in-depth knowledge and information on research methodology. He has touched some of the topics such as outcome-based research, statistic-oriented research, financial indicators, types of research, then research in a business field, and quality of a good researcher, then hypothesis, then how to write a research paper. He has given us in-depth information. I hope everyone is encouraged enough to do the research in the future. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to thank the principal, the Canara College, Dr. Premalata V, for giving her valuable time for this webinar. Thank you, madam. I would like to thank the head Department of Business Administration, Mrs. Pushpalata madam, who constantly supported me and helped me throughout in organizing this webinar. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I would like to express my sincere thanks to all my colleagues of Department of Business Administration for attending this webinar. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the students who present here for this webinar. And I also like to thank my lecturer, JP sir, Jayaprashant sir, and Yatin sir for attending this webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Students can exit the meeting. Fill up the feedback form.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we can come to know how many students have attended and listen to the program. Fill up the feedback form.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.